Guys, we are so back, and today I will answer a question that I'm sure a lot of you guys will have, and that is Rocketbelt viable? And well, I would not be uploading this video if I thought the answer was no. So let me just show you. The rune setup that I've been running is Electrocute, Grizzly Mementos, and all the other standard stuff here. But the important part that I think makes Rocketbelt viable is going sorcery second. And it's simply because, of course, the reason people stopped building Rocketbelt is because they felt like it just lacks damage, but this makes up for it, right? Like, this really makes up for it. And I think in general, these runes are very solid on Ekko. People don't like, and in the past myself, I didn't like building these or taking these runes in the jungle mainly because it felt too greedy, but you can really easily play around it. And especially in this kind of meta that we're playing here, I feel like you can just farm. Like, you can just farm and you just need to prioritize farming, right? Like, I watched some people analyzing Nadinet's gameplay and whatever, and he really prioritizes farming over a lot of things. So of course, starting Raptors with Ekko, you basically need to start Raptors, or in some cases, Wolves, basically every game, because he's just so good at clearing it with his Q. So I'm not gonna focus too much on the farming here, because that's not really like it's the same every game, right? If you want to know how to clear properly, you just watch a guide for that. So really important. I'd say like in probably 95% of the games, you will clear every single time. You don't go for any level 3 ganks because it's all about like League of Legends is really all about not making mistakes. It's all about taking the small wins and just stacking those up and just being incredibly consistent with it, right? You're not going to win every game. And I think that's something you just need to accept, but if you consistently make no big mistakes, you'll win a lot of games. And look at this. Like, this is actually crazy because I haven't played this game for 9 months. I did not know how unbelievably quickly Mundo is clearing. He's done it like 310 or something. Thankfully, in this situation, he flashes in, misses the smite. And this is like the first important decision this game. Of course, my bot lane has no prior. This Mundo's here. He's much healthier and stronger than me. So instantly I have to go over to this crap. Like, this is another thing I learned from these Nadinet videos, is just he values crabs. I always used to value crabs as well, but I don't know, some people used to say in the past that crabs are not worth it. He values crabs, apparently it's working, and I think so as well, right? Like, crabs are really good. Here, very important, I had this ward down, so we saw Mundo taking this really greedy play, and because he flashed earlier, he's obviously not allowed to do this. Also, I want you to note, my mechanics are not good. Like, I haven't played in 9 months, so naturally my mechanics are not really on point. So I missed the Q here and whatever, and you'll see me miss a ton of spells and stuff in this game. Still, you'll see that it doesn't matter, because that's not what this game is about. It's not really about having incredible mechanics. It's, especially as a jungler, it's about making taking the right recalls and all of that stuff. So yeah, you can see buying Dark Seal, 2 Amp Tomes, and the glowing mode. So of course, in the build path to the Rocketbelt, you want to prioritize the AP. You don't want to build the Fiendish Codex or whatever it's called. So yeah, here you can see the Vel'Koz really low on mana. Of course, I pathed him right away. Also because I don't like clearing the wolves here. Not really, right? Like, I don't want to clear the wolves and then wait for the Grump to spawn even. For multiple reasons. Reason number one, of course, here I have a 10 times better opportunity in ganking this Vel'Koz, but also at this point in time, I don't really want the camps to spawn like this. I would rather start from Grump and then path upwards the next time. So this is a really good timing to gank mid, and of course the Galio instantly forces the flash, and then we just get a free kill here. Now here, of course, you can see my pathing. I was thinking about invading here, especially because we see Mundo up here, but as you'll see in a second, like, first of all, I need to help this guy push. He doesn't have mana. Like, he literally doesn't have mana for Q, so I definitely need to help him shove here, just so he can leave. And then I see the Nami taking the plant here, so I just decide, you know, take the small win. No reason to greed, right? Like, this Mundo is already on his way. I didn't really know where Isaiah was in the first second, so now I'm just going back to farming. And now you can see, like, these camps, they're spawning in a way where I would really like to just clear upwards and have a straight line clear instead of clearing like this and then later on clearing like this. You know what I mean? And of course you can also see the crab is coming up in a second here, so I really want that. The reason you want the crabs is of course simply to take it away from the enemies. Now here you can see my bot lane gets caught out, but at least they got them kind of low, so I don't fuck around. I instantly flash on the Nami here because it's a free kill. And early with Ekko, like, flash for kills. Later on, holding flash is good, but, or like, depend, like, situationally good because you might have a huge shutdown that you don't want to give, but early game, just to get the snowball going, flash for kills, it's usually worth. Like, if you don't die, of course. So now I'm definitely enabled, right? Like, I'm in a really good spot. And I don't know, my ADCs, they... in the first couple of games that I've played being back, I noticed my ADCs, for some reason, they just don't like helping me with Drakes. But early game, guys, if you're, for some reason, you're an ADC player watching, help your junglers in the early game. Like, I'm getting so low here and it's taking me such a long amount of time. And this guy is really not achieving anything, so... Yeah, now, of course, very important. Like, this is so crucial. Like, for some of you, it might be obvious, but for maybe if you're a little bit lower elo, you should look to base here. Now, of course, my team was doing things, so guys, close your eyes here, honestly. Close your eyes. This fight was too awkward. But, like, we were just super disjointed. And as I said, my like, gameplay, my mechanics... all of it is not there yet, but it will be there, don't worry. So now still recall, just recall. No reason to stay on the map. I have gold, right? I have a lot of gold to spend. I have my Rocketbelt, I'm pretty sure. So that's like a huge power spike. You definitely do not want to go up here. You don't want to go to the grubs. You need to take a base here. That's like the bread and butter of jungle, basically. I also take the red here mainly because it's level 7 and of course it's also red buff. You'll see, like, the top lane was certainly not playing his best game, but it is what it is, right? Like, no reason to blame them. There's always gonna be people underperforming, there's always gonna be people overperforming. No reason to focus on that, just focus on your own gameplay. And the Gwen, of course, we get her. I don't know, like, guys, I need to really learn my limits and stuff. I don't know if I should have stayed on her there, or if it was good to cut back to not give her the stacks, but yeah. Here, I didn't move here right away because I wanted to heal from the Krugs, and I also felt like it wouldn't have changed much, to be honest. And that's another thing, to be honest, my camera... movement in game is like really bad. In half the fights I don't even know what's going on. By the way, the elo for this game is like D1 master around that elo, because like earlier this year I played a little bit. Like my last video was 9 months ago, so played a little bit. I think it was around master and then it decayed to D2. So now of course you can see again crab has priority, so I'm moving to the crab right away. Before, of course, I also made sure to clear my top side so that it wouldn't be disjointed when spawning again. And now, you know, I can see a lot of people might look to go for some bot play here, but realistically, like, look, we have a Melio here, it's not great gank setup. Enemies are full HP, they're not overextended, so really the consistent play here every single time is to just clear your jungle. And also, we're not really in a hurry to make anything happen, at least from my personal perspective, because I'm so fat, right? And that's what you need to be looking at. Don't focus on your 1-3 top and your 0-2 ADC in these situations and maybe, you know, get emotional about it even. Like, that's something I would have done in the past, and that's why in the past I would have lost these games, but in this situation, I just see it as like this game is firmly in my personal control, and that's cool, you know. Like I'm very much enabled. And of course here the enemies are a little bit overextended. The Galio is also moving, so yeah, we just get the free kill on the Nami. No reason to keep overextending here. Again, small wins. Take the small wins. Mundo, for some reason, I guess he saw the low HP Milio and thought he would run him down, but yeah, he just has to flash out, and in the end he even dies. Here, really important actually that I ulted right away. Like, the... you can see I have 2 stacks on me here. And then if he would have gotten the 3rd stack again with the ult, I think I would have died much quicker than I thought I would have. And here again, I'm just taking the recall. I'm not, I mean, you know, I don't have ult, so going for any dives here, possibly we get them, but it's not a guaranteed play. And what you want to do is take guaranteed plays, which is farming here. Because the camps are respawning, I have really good tempo right now, so yeah, it's just... that's the place you need to be making. In this game, I mean, I was so fat I built the Magi's here. But at this point, like, I'm out-tempoing one of the best junglers in the game, like jungle champions in the game as Ekko, so... and it's really just because I take the right recalls in this game. Here, of course, you can also see, again, I prioritize the crab. And now we're just kind of looking to go back in, of course. And this is where the game really turned in our favor. Before then, you can see in the gold, it was kind of even, but now we're starting to really get ahead. And yeah, I mean, Magi Spy also incredibly good here, right? Instantly managed to get 10 stacks. Now, in hindsight, there's a mistake I'm making here, which is to not just clear the jungle first, honestly. At least the Raptors I should have gotten, because we literally killed all of them. And we still get the drag afterwards. So, small mistake. I mean, I go for it now, but still, I think in general it would have been better to clear it first. It's just the safer play. And now also, very important, don't overextend for anything here, because, I mean, I'm a little bit low. The Mundo just got out of base. He's not Omega weak. I mean, he's still like 3k gold behind almost, but still. Also, in-game, like, I was considering, is it worth to def bot here? And I think the answer is just no. I think the answer is just no, don't def this. Yeah, they get a plate, but I also just clear my jungle, and I don't need to focus too much on what the enemies are getting when I myself can get a lot in these moments, right? So again, just base. Don't clear this base, because I had a needlessly large rod. I had a bunch of gold to spend, so this base, you know, it also allowed me to just be a little bit stronger here, because Gwen, you can see she's like their only fed member basically. Good dodge by her, so she doesn't die instantly. And here you can just see, like, I flash in for basically no reason. It's just washed up mechanics basically. Well, rusty mechanics. Let's not say washed up. But you can see, despite not showing incredible mechanics or anything, I'm still fed, and it's only because I make the right decisions in this game. Or like I made the right decisions, and I didn't play. I just played patiently, basically. I'm always saying, or I've always been saying, patience, one of the most important skills for Ekko. Right? You want to play quick, but you also want to play decisively and collected, cool, calm, and collected. Basically, you don't want to make hasty plays. You don't want to, you know, be rushed with your inputs and stuff. Just play around your cooldowns and yeah, hit your spells basically. Now here we see that they're doing it. I don't think we're in a good position to contest because they're already in position. Melio's just coming out of base. Top is quite weak, so I just make the next best play, which is to take this and then take mid tower afterwards. I mean, for a second you can see I was considering going there, but now we're just taking the mid tower, which is really good, opening up the map. Velkos for some reason thinks he can walk up like that. And this is another thing I haven't even said about Rocketbelt so far. A really, like, intangible thing about Rocketbelt is that people are not used to Ekko having Rocketbelt, which means they're gonna disrespect your range so much more than they would have maybe done in a meta where everyone was building Rocketbelt. Right now, people are building Lichbane, Nashers, whatever. All of these things, they're good, right? They're good, but if you just like with this setup, you can see I'm not lacking damage here. I thought the Gwen went over here, so I kinda trolled a little bit. And yeah, I had to chase her a little bit longer, but in the end, of course, we get her. By the way, the second item normally would be Shadow Flame. In this game, I had the gold for Rabadons, so I'm building Rabadons, of course. But of course, in most cases, Shadow Flame is just gonna be much easier to buy, so it's more consistent. Also, the Magic Pen, like the Magic Pen from Shadow Flame makes up for the lack of Magic Pen on the Rocketbelt, right? So I think that's what makes this build feel pretty solid. It really does. Like these runes combined with the Magic Pen and stuff, and general stats from Shadow Flame as well as passive, just really make it feel like you're not lacking damage. Of course, like given that you're ahead, but you always need to get ahead with Ekko, right? It's not like with Ekko you're always gonna feel weak no matter the build if you're not ahead, and that's why Ekko is a really good champ at staying ahead, being ahead. And of course, with this build, you have a little bit of extra HP as well, which means, first of all, I think Magi's is easier to build with Rocketbelt because you have that defensive dash, and you also have more HP, which I like. I like building Magi's. I think it's a great item. And in general, I just like, I don't know, I lost my train of thought. I don't even know what I was gonna say, but overall, I just want to say Rocketbelt, nice item, especially, guys, I always used to see, I mean, I haven't streamed yet at the time of recording this video, but I always used to have people come into my chat asking what's the build and whatever. Look, if you're below Challenger, you don't even need to worry about taking the right build. And I think even in Challenger, I mean, people like Baus, they've showed that you can even build kind of off-meta stuff. Right? It just needs to make some sense. It needs to be a little bit coherent, and I think this build it feels quite coherent. I think even not having the magical footwear, it does not feel bad. Like it really doesn't feel bad, because in some situations it feels good to be able to just buy the shoes early. And here you can see, of course, I'm fed, right? But I'm one-shotting. And this is actually also something I want to mention about Electrocute, because you might be questioning that instead of Dark Harvest. Now, I'm gonna say, like, Dark Harvest is good. It's good, no doubt. But here you can see why Electrocute still has value. Because the thing is with Dark Harvest, I've been saying this, I think Dark Harvest damage is fake. It's often fake in the sense that it's just overkill, right? Like, you would get probably at least like 50, if not even 80, 90% of the kills, even without Dark Harvest. And here you can see, now I would have to do another auto attack to kill her if I didn't have Electrocute, right? I would have to do another, but because of Electrocute, it just finishes her. And in this situation, it did not matter. It certainly didn't matter, but in some situations it might, right? Having to take that other auto attack. So this damage from Electrocute, it was actually potentially valuable. And here, of course, let's also see, I mean, on this guy, now I could have had Dark Harvest here, but I killed without Dark Harvest, right? That's the point I'm making. I get these kills even without Dark Harvest, because if enemies are low, your W passive extra damage and stuff is more than enough in 90% of the cases, in my opinion. So I'm not saying that Dark Harvest is a bad rune at all. I personally just enjoy Electrocute, especially because I think I know it's just a little bit stronger in the early game, right? It's a little bit stronger, and because of that, it also makes the early game feel more consistent to me personally. So you can see, of course, I'm just really fat here. In this, I don't think these boots are very good, generally speaking, but in this case, I just had the gold for it, so that's why I bought them. Like, I think these boots, you really just buy them when you have the gold for them. I mean, 7% magic pen is not terrible, especially if enemies are building magic resist, but they're Like, just literally 0 MR bot from the enemies, so... Yeah, it's definitely... Like, this was certainly an easy game to play for Ekko. I don't wanna... Like, this is why I had stats like this, right? Because this is just a game where they have low CC, they have... Like, they're quite squishy, they're quite immobile, so... This is just a very, very free game. If you're not dominating games like this with Ekko, you really need to look at your gameplay, honestly. Now just, you know, taking the camps away, of course. And, I mean, there's really not too much to talk about here. We just get the tower. I guess one small detail here is to say, we didn't keep pushing, right? We didn't keep pushing, and I think that was certainly the right play. Just take the small win. Like, yes, we're like 8k gold ahead, but there's no reason to risk anything. There really is no reason. I think there's so many ways to lose this game. Or there's not many ways to lose this game, but one of them is certainly to keep pushing here and then, I don't know, have Gwen get some random kills or something because she's quite strong still. You know, I mean, I'm really Omega strong, of course, in this game, but she's definitely a step above most of the other players in this game as well, gold-wise. So now, you know, just stay patient, wait for a good opportunity like this. Get the kill. Ult out. I actually don't know why the Xayah... Did she not have E? I'm wondering, because she really should have just E'd instantly. Ah yeah, she probably didn't. Yeah, that's unfortunate for her. Like, if she had E now, I might actually die to the Vel'Koz combo afterwards. But now, of course, we just kill them. Keep going. You can see a little bit, like, Gwen does stuff here, but it's whatever. Now we even get the Infernal Soul. Here you can also see, I mean, look, this Vel'Koz is just... It's just out of position, right? And you definitely just need to punish these kind of mistakes. Here also, very important, of course, not... Like, I made a mistake, but thankfully Ekko has the, you know, mistake reversal button, and like the mistake, of course, here, missing Q, not being able to proc passive. And either way, I think I was low enough where I just had to ult out right away. And, like, don't be greedy, especially late game. It's a 30-second cooldown, that's really nothing. Like, don't ever be greedy with ulting in these situations, because, like, dying is not good, and you know that. So now, this fight here, it was a little bit awkward. We really didn't commit, and I would have personally liked the Galio to just tank it, and then we turn when they really come, but this way we kinda half-turned. I didn't really turn with them. And it was just a little bit awkward. You can see, I think I typed something here as well, that's where I stood. I actually enabled chat as well. Again, I used to play the last season, I think, without chat. But I definitely do see the value, right? Like, I'm just not mentally weak anymore, so it doesn't really bother me when people insult me or shit. Like, it really doesn't matter. So... I think chat can definitely be good, especially as a jungler. Like, sometimes it's really good being able to just chat with your team and tell them what to do as a jungler. Like, as a jungler, you really need to think of yourself as the instructor of your team most of the time. Like, that's also what the really good challenger junglers are doing. They're instructing their team all the time. They're tracking enemy jungles. They're telling their team what's going on. They're also telling, you know, what they're gonna do and what should be done, and just making the calls, basically. So don't be afraid to do that. It's definitely another one of those intangible or somewhat intangible things that doesn't really show up in the OPGG, but that definitely wins you games. So yeah, this was just a very clean game, no big decision-making mistakes in my opinions, and that's what wins you games. Of course I died to Gwen here because I didn't know she would deal this amount of damage, but yeah, if you learned something new, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!